All right, so a recap of yesterday. Yesterday was about JSON, right? And really there are two things to know about JSON. Um, JSON.parse and JSON.stringify. But first of all, what is JSON? JSON is JavaScript's object notation. Sorry, I think JavaScript stringified object notation.
Please,
Yeah,
have you
that's
started recording?
JSO. Yes, I have.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So it exists because um, some things that we work with in JavaScript, they only work with strings. But we have, many other, um, what do we say, data types that are not strings. For example, objects, arrays, they are troublesome for working with those things that only require strings. Two good examples of things that work with strings are web storage. It's like we're going to treat today. Local storage and session storage in your browser. They don't store, what's this thing? They don't store non-primitives. You remember primitives are things like boolean, string, number. I think those are the three main ones. Yeah, those are the three main ones. So non-primitives like arrays and objects, local storage, session storage, you can't keep those there. If you tried keeping them there, they will be forcefully converted to strings, and some would, lose all that they have, all that signifies them. For example, objects. If you try to forcefully convert an object to a string, you would get object. Have you ever seen something like that somewhere?
Yes, I think I have.
Okay, let me start Coca and see if I can get that to show. So const my obj is equal to name. Now, if we say yeah, so you try to use the string constructor to forcefully convert this to a string. You should see yeah, you get object. If this, however, was an array, let's see what you see. Okay, so ideally you've lost something. As in, this no longer is an array. You might say because it looks like this, you can easily get it back with split. But what if inside that array there's an object? So, but if you did this instead, JSON dot stringify, then you get this. Even if you did have something in here, name is view. Now it's true, this is a string, but you can get back the original array or object or whatever from it by simply parsing the string. So JSON dot sorry JSON dot parse stringified obj. And you get back your array. Now, if you notice, this JSON.parse, it's expecting a string. So if you put weird things, you get an error immediately. Undefined is not valid JSON. This is not just, this is an error. If you wrote something that is not a string, like say a boolean, okay, return this boolean, that's nice. Here we have an empty string, a string with space. So it's fairly common actually that, okay, I think we're going to see that today as we're trying to read something from local storage. You know, a situation where, because now you've seen that undefined, having undefined inside your JSON.parse is an error or throws an error. So in a situation where you are not sure if the item is undefined or it's actually there, you could say something like stringified obj, or I don't know, if you're expecting it to be an object, you could just do this. If you're expecting it to be an array, you could put an empty array there. So in that case, if stringified object happened to be undefined, then it's going to fall back to this. I think even null should also prove to be an error. So either way, if this stringified obj doesn't exist or is null, then it shows you this and you have no error. So I think really that's a short form of what we did yesterday. Just this is why we need JSON. With it, with JSON in JavaScript, you can turn objects, arrays, pretty much anything into strings, and with parse, you can get them back. So that's it. So we can officially move to today's lesson, right? No question about this stuff from yesterday, Abby?
Yes, we can. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So today is day 17. We're getting closer to the end. And day 17 is web storages. So let me just close up a few of these. I'll leave the index.html because we're going to be looking over there a lot.
So why is it tagged HTML5 web storage? Is it particular to this one, to HTML, or it's a web storage for even if you're studying other kind of programming languages?
Well, web in this case is talking about the browser, and JavaScript is the language of the browser. That's why you might see someone say, or that phrase, the language of the web, JavaScript, because browsers run on JavaScript. So, yeah.
So I
What's going
mean,
on?
Sabena is written HTML5 web storage. Why this other part of the phrase, the HTML5? Why? Can't it just be web storage? Is there a reason why?
I guess it can just be web storages, and maybe it's just making reference to the fact that HTML5 is the most, do I say, recent version of HTML. You know, this stuff, they keep improving them. Like CSS is in 3. I know we just call it CSS, but it's actually CSS 3. There was CSS2, I don't know, long before I started doing anything with CSS. Let's go actually try to find the reason why. Okay, so I guess web storages are also called HTML web storages. Oh, oh, that's interesting. Web storages, web applications can store data locally within the user's browser. So I guess we've learned something from this. Before HTML5, which is the current HTML, application data had to be stored in cookies, included in every server request. Web storage is more secure. Well, for now, dead this touch, they are not really that much. I would just say they contain more. You can use them quite easily. But when it comes to security, it's still better to store things in cookies. So for example, if you made a request to your backend and they sent you, somebody logged in, for example, and the backend sent you the user's data and tokens, say access or refresh tokens to use to authorize the person on the backend. You shouldn't really store those on your web storage, like local or session storage. You shouldn't do that actually, because everybody has access to that web storage. That's the troublesome thing about it. So this secure I'm seeing here is pinning my eye. Ideally, if you get those kind of tokens, you should store them in cookies, because nobody's going to see cookies. Probably even you yourself. If you went, if you are developing something, you enter you are using localhost and all. You check, you probably won't see the value of those cookies. Yeah. But the sweet thing about web storage is the size. I mean, you can see this. The storage limit is 5 MB. 5 MB may not look much to you because, I mean, we're dealing gigs these days. We're using TB, but 5 MB of strings is a lot. Yeah, and the information is never transferred to the server. It's just a nice place for you to store things. And I think this 5 MB is per website. So there's that too. So I suppose that's why it's called HTML5 web storage, because before HTML5 there wasn't really web storage. So nice question. I'm not sure what's going on, but this thing is not loading. uh, cracking jokes at me. In case you've not heard of this, sometimes, well, I learned this when I was trying to change favicon. Sometimes the browser can be very annoying and stubborn. You know this thing is called a favicon, right? Like this GitHub icon you're seeing here, this W3 icon, and this one. They're called favicons. Do you guys know that?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
And they can be set from the meta in your HTML page, your HTML file. So over here, somewhere in here, you could say meta, I don't know, something favicon. There's a way it's done. If I see it, I'll know it, and I've done it time, but I don't really keep it in my head. But yeah, you set it from here. And of course, you can easily change the value. But the annoying thing now is that if you do change the value, it will not reflect immediately. So you would have to do a hard refresh for it to show up. Simply refreshing is very annoying. You simply refresh, nothing will change. But if you try to inspect and come over here and right click, you get these options: hard reload, empty cache, and hard reload. So one of these two usually works. I always go for the hardest one, this empty cache and hard reload. Whenever I want to make sure I'm refreshed very well. This one. So everything would refresh to clear cache. So if you change your favicon or set a new favicon with this, you'll definitely see it show up immediately. So if you have a troublesome page that is trying to annoy you, that's another way to go. All right, let me find. So, web storages. So, web storage, session storage, and local storage is a new HTML5 API offering important benefits over traditional cookies. Before HTML5, I guess this is all the stuff we saw over there. Application data had to be stored in cookies, included in every server request. So web storage is, again, with this more secure, and large amounts of data can be stored locally without affecting website performance. So this part is interesting, and yeah, I would agree with it because it's not getting sent. So it's not going to be, it's not getting sent over, server requests. So you wouldn't be dragging down your server requests all the time. The data storage limit of cookies in a lot of web browsers is about 4 KB per cookie. Web storages can store far larger data, at least 5 MB, and it's never transferred. So all sites from the same or one origin can store and access the same data. Yeah, this is very important to remember. All sites from the same or one origin can store and access the same data. So that means it's a little troublesome on local hosts. Let's look for an example. Or we'll just keep that in mind, and later on, when we try opening this page, and maybe opening something else, we'll still see that it's there. So the data being stored can be accessed using JavaScript. It gives you the ability to leverage client-side scripting to do many things that have traditionally involved server-side programming and relational databases. Yeah, so that's essentially what this is like. You could try to use local storage as a database, but it's troublesome because, it only lives on your system. So that's a weird kind of database. So there are two objects, session storage and local storage. This local storage is similar to session storage. It's just that data in local storage has no expiration time. This is very key. If you open something in your browser and you come back next year, whatever data was in local storage is still going to be there, assuming you didn't wipe your system or something of the sort. It's going to still be there. But session storage, once the page session ends, it's closed. So I guess we'll try it out later on. Put something in session storage, close the page, open it back, and see whether it will still be there. So it should be noted that data stored in either local or session storage is specific to the protocol of the page. Specific to the protocol of the page. That's a little somehow.
Sorry, can you come again with what you said? Okay.
Okay. This is what you're talking about. Okay, they said data stored in, what's it called? Web storage, either local or session storage, is specific to the protocol of the page. So these are a few protocols that we can keep in mind: HTTP, HTTPS, WebSockets, FTP. Yeah. So at least these two, we should all be familiar with it. So sometimes it's hard to really imagine that these two are different things. But if you tried deployments, you'll find out that they actually are. If you deploy a page, a website, for example, and you've not gotten, security, you've not gotten SSL for that website, that means it can't be accessed with HTTPS. It will only be accessed with HTTP. You find some annoying things happening. Especially if, it's a virtual server and, how do I put it? There are other things on the server. You could try to go to a particular page and it will be taking you somewhere else. Especially with Chrome.
Sorry, what's the virtual?
Yeah?
You said
I didn't get what you
virtual
said.
server. You said virtual server. I said what is it? I know the meaning of.
Yeah, I
Like,
know
what
the
is
meaning
virtual
of
server?
I know the meaning of virtual, I know the meaning of server, but I'm not sure how to put them together and explain it to you. Okay, essentially what I'm saying is you have plenty of websites on the same domain. Like say you have example.com, but you also have um, api.example.com, frontend.example.com, sideend.example.com. Those extra those subdomains are usually hosted on a virtual server. Like there's the main one, and those ones are just kind of attached to it somehow. I do hope that's fair of an explanation. So if you did have SSL on, say, the main thing, www.example.com or just example.com, and you added a subdomain like, say, frontend.example.com, but it doesn't have SSL, you may find out that if you try to access it, it will redirect you to the secure one, the just .example.com. Sorry, www.example.com. It behaves funnily. Sometimes a site that doesn't have security on it, that means it's HTTP. If you try to access it with Chrome, especially if you click a link, Chrome has that annoying ability or feature. If you click any link and it's opened in Chrome, Chrome will force that link to be HTTPS. A lot of sites are secure these days, so you probably won't have experienced that because, I mean,
I think I
it's
have.
rare to see insecure sites. But if you click a link that is not secure, it will force it to be HTTPS, so the link will not open. Like you'll be seeing it in the address bar because address bars will tend to hide that HTTP or HTTPS. For example, let's go to this one. You can see we are not seeing the HTTPS. You're just seeing this icon that's showing you that it's secure. Even if you went to something that is not secure, you will just see a triangle warning sign here telling you it's not secure, but you will probably still see your content, right? Okay. So if you click on something that is not secure and come over here, it will force it to try to access the secure version, and you will find out that the page is not loading. But if you come over here and look, just this part you're seeing, it looks like exactly the link you're trying to access. You'll be wondering why. But the difference is just the S. If you remove the S, it will work. Anyway, went out of what we're doing. So the keys and values are always strings. Yeah, this is important, always strings, which is why JSON helps out a lot. So note that as with objects, integer keys will be automatically converted to strings. So this one shouldn't be a surprise. It already happens in our objects, regular objects. If you put anything as a property name in JavaScript objects, they turn to strings, right? Well, aware of that, Abi? There's a kind of quietness I'm hearing. Are we aware of that?
Uh,
It's not convincing.
can you repeat what you said again?
Property names in
Object.
objects, they will
Uh-huh.
always get converted to strings, even if they were not strings.
Okay.
We said
Yes.
7 is 7. My OBJ. Okay, let's remove this now. This 7 is still trying to deceive us. Don't worry. Objects. Okay. How would I get the keys inside this object? Yeah. I want to get the keys inside this object. How would I get it?
Isn't it like object.keys or something?
Complete it now. Don't just start and stop. So you said object.keys.
My obj does.
Be my obj.keys.
My wait. I should still write my obj.keys in here, or I should clean this and write it outside.
Obj.
My obj should be where the object is. So
Okay.
I don't really know these things.
Sorry, let's end. My obj.keys. Okay, it's like a function, a method. So what goes in there? Oh, is that all? I'm not seeing the keys. I'm expecting to see an array of keys that would have name and 7. That's what I'm expecting.
I thought it's object.keys then my obj.
Okay. Someone says it's not my obj.keys. It's my object.keys. All right. Object.keys. What else?
Then my obj will be inside there.
My obj. This is what I'm seeing. I want to see name and 7.
Use dot entry.
Sorry? Entries.
Entries.
Where should I write entries?
Change the keys to entries.
Okay. Entries. So this is what we're seeing instead. But that's not what I want to see.
That's not what you want.
Yes, now.
Yo,
I
what
want
do
to
you
see-
want exactly?
I want to see name and 7. Are we getting stuck in this one?
Name and 7.
Yes, now, it's this object I want to see the keys for, this object. The keys, you can clearly see now, the keys are name and 7. I want to see the keys of this object. How do you go about it? Okay, who has not talked?
My object one.
What about if we like give like my obj then like signify the index or something?
Okay, so what's the index?
That should be 2.
Dot name.
Yeah. Which one?
Dot 1.
6 is not 1. No, it's
One.
2.
So dot 2.
Sorry.
Is it? No, not dots now.
So what now?
Array.
Array now. Array like square brackets.
Okay, and 2.
Square bracket.
One.
1.
Then change the entries back to keys.
Okay. This is what I'm saying.
So is it not value?
Where am I writing values? Okay, 7 and name.
Ah,
I thought it's 0, 1 now.
This is the third thing inside the array now. So it's 2. That's why I was surprised that you're shouting 1.
Oh,
Okay, so we can see
surprised
the
too.
7.
Because me I said 2, but people were saying 1. I got confused.
That's why it's not good to be confused. You should know what you know very well, so that you will not be confused if people are saying something else. Anyway, you can see the 7 is a string actually here. Even though this place was trying to play pranks with us. So yeah, if you write anything, if this were to be true, for example, we know this is Boolean, but over here it's going to show as a string. Anything at all. If this were to be an array, we said, what do we even say inside an array? So, I don't know, anything you want to put in an array. You say maybe true and False. Okay. Okay, because converting it is going to be a trouble. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. But the thing is, it's going to force it to become um, it's going to force it to become a string. That was the point I was trying to make. Okay. So again, we're just recapping this. Integer keys will be automatically converted to strings. Okay, session storage is only available within the browser tab on Windows session. It's designed to store data in a single web page session. That means if the window is closed, the session data will be removed. Since session storage and local storage has similar methods, we'll focus only on local storage. So that means anything you see us do on local storage, you can do the same on session storage. The only difference is session storage is going to go away very quickly. Local storage will be there forever. So yeah, you can store data on the browser with no expiration dates with local storage. It will be available even after the browser is closed. Data is kept between browser sessions. Close, reopen, close tab, switch windows is still there. The web. So yeah, that's true. The fact that it can be shared between windows, as in if we created this we have this is a Chrome window, right? If we opened localhost and stored something in local storage, and you open another window and store another thing, not really store. That thing you stored in this browser window, you can see it in the other browser window. There was this time that I posted one interesting stuff that somebody did where he called it quantum entanglement. He had this like weird pattern on one Chrome browser. He split the tabs in he had two Chrome instances on, and he split the screen between them. And it was like some colored goo or something. It was doing like Venom, It was trying to reach over this way, and the other one too was trying to reach over to touch themselves, that kind of thing. So that happened because information in local storage is shared between all instances of the browser. So he made use of that to make that happen. So you'll probably be storing, this one will be saying where it is, this one will be saying where it is, and they'll be trying to bridge the gap kind of thing. It was very cool. I don't have the video anymore. Okay, web storage data is in most cases not available between different browsers. Yeah, this is true. So if you create something in Chrome and you open Firefox, you shouldn't be expecting to see that data in the local storage there. But as long as it's the same browser, expect it. So 5 methods that work on local storage and session storage. Set item when you want to add in a new data under a new property or a new key. Get item. The beautiful thing about these methods is that they are very clear. The way it looks is actually what it does. So get item. You have a key or property in mind and you want to get the value. Remove item. You don't want this key value pair to be in local storage anymore. Throw it away. Clear. Wipe everything in local storage for that site. And key, I think key is used to get all available keys currently in local storage. So use cases of web storage is store data temporarily, save products that the user places in the shopping cart, make data available between page requests, multiple browser tabs, and between browser sessions, using local storage offline. You've also seen this one of save my password. You're trying to log into somewhere and you see a little checkbox that says remember my password for later. Naturally, they would probably store that password in local storage. They might also store it in cookies, who knows? But local storage can do that. so that the next time you try to log in, it will check, does this person have a password stored? If it does, just throw it in the password input. Let's move on. Can also, there can be a great performance win when some static data is stored on the client to minimize the number of subsequent requests. So like I said, somebody logs in, the backend will give you the user data. You should store it so that going forward, while that person is moving around the site should know who that person is, know what their name is, know what's, whatever info they have. So that once they just enter this page and they want to see some things, you shouldn't be making a new request when you already got that data some pages ago. You shouldn't be making a new request for that data. That kind of thing. So for the examples mentioned above, it makes sense to use local storage. You may be wondering then, when should we use session storage? In cases we want to get rid of the data as soon as the window is closed, session storage. Or perhaps if we don't want the application to interfere with the same application that is open in another window. Yeah, so remember what we said, local storage, session storage, they are both shared between Windows instances. So if you already have some data in local storage and you feel this one is kind of short term, I don't want it to spoil whatever is already there, you can use session storage. So finally, we get to look at it. Okay, so while we do say just local storage and session storage, these two objects belong to the window object. So ideally, you should do window.localstorage to get them. But then, it's a little bit funny. Remember that, what's it called? Let me see. Let me change this to 17. Console.log local storage dot get item. I know we probably don't have anything there, but okay. We did store something yesterday, right? Yeah, we stored something. Yeah, we stored data. We did set item and store data. So let's see if we can get data. Data. And this. So these two things, do you think they'll show us the same? Do you think they'll return the same thing? Local storage.get item data, window.localstorage.get item data. Do you think they'll return the same thing?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That was Bashir saying he doesn't think so. How about the rest of you guys? Do you think so?
I don't think so also, but I don't know what it will return.
Okay, I think that was good.
I think it return empty.
Okay, empty. No, I'm not really asking for what is it. I'm just asking, will it be the same? Will both of them be the same?
No, it won't.
They won't be the same. Okay, so that's two people saying they will not be the same. Edwin, how far? Are you for or against?
I think they'll be the same.
Okay, 2-1. Any other people? Jane, what do you think?
It will be the same, so it will be 2-2.
2-2. You just want to equalize things. Okay.
Yeah, it will be the same.
Same. All right, let's go and look at it.
No, I'm changing my mind.
No one stay one place. They look pretty the same to me. Don't you think so? So yeah, they are the same. So this is about, I'm trying to remember that word. Scope. Yeah. Everything that is run on the base level um, is run from the window object or the global object. And in browsers, the global object is window. So saying window.local storage get item, that's this one, and saying local storage get item is all the same because eventually it's going to be accessing this object from window. So whether you specify that this is happening from window or not, it actually is. So both of them are the same. So we've let's take it gently. If we did have a user, so we say const user is equal to, can you give me some details to put in this user?
First name, last name.
First name, last name, okay. So first name will be what?
Goodness.
Goodness. And last name?
Uche.
That's the person you're stalking, I mean.
Oh my goodness, no.
Okay, so any more properties?
Age.
Age. Any value?
34.
34. Anything else?
Can we add state of origin?
He's married.
He's married.
My
Wow,
guess
that's a nice one. That's a nice one. That's a nice way to find out. So who brought up is married? Answer it.
who brought it up? Say your name and say if you're married or not.
It's complicated.
It's wow. No. It's Boolean. It's a Boolean.
False.
Okay, so I think this is enough. Let's go. So, so remember there was set item, get item, remove item. What were the other two?
Claire.
And the last one?
Oh my goodness.
Change item. Something like that.
It's not showing as I'm writing it.
We have
Okay,
Claire, Kia.
Yeah, clear and key. So which of these do you think we can use if we want to put user in local storage?
Set item.
Okay, so local storage set item. So how do we go about it? First of all, set item, if you hover on this, you'd see it takes in two things, key and value. So obviously the value is going to be user, as in this object user. But what do we want the name of? What do we want the key to be? Do we also call it user? Yeah, hello?
Yes, I think you can still call it user.
Okay, you think we can still call it user? That's fine. So user, like this, right? Is this okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So let's go look at user. So in case you were not here yesterday, to get to local storage, over here when you inspect application, and then you see local storage, you'd see what your website, the website you're working on. And then you can see local storage. So you can see our data from yesterday, before that object is there. But look at user. What do you see? Object. Why are we seeing object?
Because it only says a string.
Okay. And the user object was an object, and of course trying to put it in here just like that was basically forcing it to become a string, and you get this. So what do you think we can do to that object so that it will show up like this? See how data was showing nicely. You can even open it, look through it, and all that. How do we do that?
We pass it, pass it to a string.
Pass it to a string. Okay. So what do we do what do we do to user to make it happen? Let me remove user.
I think it's JSON dot pass then, or is it stringify? Is it stringify? Is it pass? I think it's
I don't know.
stringify. It's
Pick one.
stringify.
It's a 50%.
It's stringify.
Stringify. Let's find out. Okay. So we put user in there. All right.
Yay.
The user is finally showing what it's supposed to show. That's great. So now, getting something from local storage. How does that one go?
That's okay.
Yeah? Local storage dots. Oh, there's
Yes,
also
I
local
see,
storage dot length.
Mm.
Get item. So now we get item. What are we passing in here?
User.
User. Like this.
No, like in strings, you put those. Listen. I think.
Okay,
No,
so we're putting
like this.
wait. Like this?
Okay. No, like a string, please.
Okay. All right, so we're putting it in string because we are trying to access the key called user in local storage. So let me add a console log so we'll see what we get out of return user. And we'll see whether we're actually getting what we're supposed to get, right? Return user. So in the console log, this is what we are seeing. But is this what we expected to see? If you are not sure, let me tell you, this is a string. So essentially, this is JSON. Because you know how objects look in the browser console now. This is not how it looks. So this is a string. So what's up with that? How do we get our
We
object?
have to parse
You
it.
pass it.
Pass it. Okay. So how do we pass it? What exactly are we?
Passing return so
Just need to pass.
JSON dot parse.
Pass. All right, fine. We're where we got back our object. But what if I said I want the passing to happen on this line, to happen on line 13? As in, returned user should not actually be a string that is now, passed just in the console log. I want returned user to be an object itself. So how do we do that?
You pass everything.
After getting the
Pass,
pass.
what's the everything? Okay. Just
Inside,
local storage.
Getting the pass. No, everything there will be a parameter to getting the pass.
Okay. Okay, is it like this, right?
Yes.
All right. All right, so we got that. This is showing up. So now, what if, we are not sure if user exists? For example, if I wrote users, what do you think we'll see in the browser? And we've already looked at local storage, so we know that there are only two keys there. There's user and there's data. There's no users. So if we try to get users and pass it and put it in the return data, what do you think we'll see? Yeah?
Undefined. Yeah, undefined.
Undefined. Any other person? What will we see in the console if we go there right now? Object. What kind of object? Undefined.
No.
So we have null, we have undefined, we have object. That person that said object did not specify what kind of object are we seeing. Empty objects or something. Anyway, all those answers were wrong. Oh, null was correct. That's interesting. I expected to see error.
Yay.
I expected to see error because where is this thing? There was something we did here at some point. And here this, when we put undefined, we got an error, right? This one is here now. Yeah, we get an error. So does that mean that if you put null, you don't get an error? That's lovely. But that brings us to another problem. If you tried to get something that doesn't exist, is it really null that you see? Local storage that gets item. I'm expecting to see undefined because trying to access something that doesn't exist shouldn't say null, it should say undefined because that thing is actually undefined and not null. Oh, we're seeing null yet again. Why? Let me put something really random. Maybe at some point there used to be users. Let's go for something very random. There's never this. I'm still saying no. That's crazy. Did they change this thing or something? Local storage didn't used to behave like this.
No, you don't.
I'm expecting undefined. If you look for something in an object, yeah, because we're looking for the value of a property that doesn't exist in local storage. From the way you work with objects, you already know it's undefined. And I've experienced looking for something in local storage that doesn't exist. It's undefined that it returns. That's usually why we have errors and we do that pipe thing. Right? This stuff. We normally do this stuff because if this thing you are trying to look for, remember stringified OBJ was Okay. Assuming this was you're trying to pass something from local storage, and you're not sure if that key exists at the moment, then you get, okay, maybe it has always been like that. I see. I think I now get why we're getting that problem. All right, that does make sense. So I think the reason why I have been experiencing that issue in the past is that when we do this returned user, for example, you know that returned user is an object, right? And it has something inside. So then I may be trying to say maybe name, like say username is equal to this dot first name, for example. And so you get an error. Yeah, you get this error. Cannot read properties of null using first name because the item doesn't exist at the moment. Does this make sense? Hello? Yeah, sure, it makes sense. Anyhow, trying to access a property that doesn't exist in local storage, from what we can see, is going to return null. And if you parse null, you will still get null. Looking at this over here, I think when we parsed null, we still got null. Yeah. So getting, trying to get the value of a key that doesn't exist in local storage returns null. If you pass it, you get null. So if you're trying to access some data from it, it's going to throw you that cannot access properties of null. So what do you think we can do in this case to avoid getting an issue, to avoid getting an error? Since nobody's answering, I'll help you out with that. How does this look? Let's make this first name and return first name. Right? But is this clear? Does this raise any questions from anyone?
No, I think I understand it. Yeah,
Right.
probably.
Any other person? Because one person is, how do we say it? One person is an accident, two is coincidence. So at least let's have coincidence. One more person that understands this.
I think I do. But what if the
I understand it.
work?
I didn't get you well, Bashir.
Like as you said, or object. What if you do like you know that thing that you do like question mark to check if something is
Okay, knowledge. That should also work because this is null. Okay, but let's see this one work first, then we'll try the knowledge. It's knowledge coalescing operator. Okay, we're getting undefined. And you know we are getting undefined because users doesn't exist. So this is a fine way. Usually this happens when you are using local storage as some kind of store in your app. So at the beginning, you may want to check, you know, is there, maybe is there first name? If there is no first name, then you may want to now make a request to the backend to say, okay, send me the user object. I didn't have it before. So when they send it to you, you now store it in local storage. But like this now, we're going to get what we want to see. We get goodness. And using using this, we should still see goodness. Okay, so are we familiar with this? Nobody's talking. That's a yes, if we're familiar with it. That's good. So we move on then.
Is the question mark?
Yes.
No,
familiar
no,
with Harry Potter? Do you know what it is?
no,
You've not seen it before?
no. I've seen only one. No.
But you've seen this one?
Just one. One question mark.
This one too, you've not?
Yes, I've seen.
Okay, what about
No,
this
I've
one?
seen this one.
What about this one?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, it's just the
I've
double
seen
question mark you've
What
not
the-
seen.
The double question mark. Yes.
Okay. So, double question mark is called the knowledge coalescing operator. So essentially it just checks if the thing on the left side is null or undefined, then it would return the thing on the right. That's basically just how it works. So let's run through some instances of that. Null or 70. This one will be undefined or 70. This one would be 0 or 70. This one would be this empty string or 70. Let's have one more. What should this be now? 0 or 70. Yes, I like this. So anyway, while we're at it, we might as well just look at a few more. Okay, so remember what I said about knowledge coalescing operator, right? As long as the left side is null or undefined, it would return the right side. If the left side is not null or undefined, it will definitely return the left side. So going by that, what do you think is going to be here? Yeah?
No.
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 Okay.
Ketu. Is it no?
It's 70 now.
70. You guys should decide. Is it null or 70?
Ask the question again.
That's the question now. Look at this. What do you think we're going to get at the end of this?
Null
What do you think
or
will be returned? Is it null or 70 or something else?
You said it's the left side.
70.
Okay. Knowledge coalescing operator. If the left side is null or undefined, it's going to return the value on the right side. Else, it will return the value on the left.
Okay.
So
70,
are we getting
70,
null?
the first one, 70.
The two parties are settled on
First one,
70.
70.
All right. This one.
0.
Can we get one more supporting part?
0.
Supporting voice. Okay.
0.
No, I'm still on 70.
You are still on 70.
Yeah.
0. That's why he said if the left, if it's null or undefined, it will return null or undefined. Else the right hand.
Oh, sorry. And yeah, 0.
Yeah.
Sure, it's 0.
Yes.
0.
Okay, everybody's saying 0. Okay. Alright, this one.
17.
Undefined.
Undefined.
Somebody said 70.
And somebody said 70.
Mm.
But yeah, people should hash it out. Which one are we going with?
Choose undefined. That will be the same.
Undefined. Okay, the undefined voice is louder, so I'm going with that one. Sorry. So this one.
An empty string, is it condition? Okay, 70 then.
Any other voice saying 70?
It's empty
Can you
string.
explain this?
But this one empty string.
So, sorry?
Can you explain this knowledge?
I've explained it enough. Don't worry. When we see the results, we'll know
It
what
said-
it is.
I think this one is 70, the empty string.
It's only 70.
Yes.
Can we get another 70? Any other person for 70? No other person wants to support 70.
Me, I chose 70 already from the jump.
Okay. That's 27. This one.
That will be 0.
That will be the 0. Any other 0?
Love that
I
one.
agree.
You don't agree?
Mm.
So what are you picking then?
70.
Oh, yeah. Third party, please split this. There are plenty of other people now. Somebody should go
0.
on that side. 0. Okay. All right. So now we're in the OR operator. Which one are we getting? I'm not explaining how OR and works. You are supposed to know by now. They are not strange things. So OR. Which one are we getting?
70.
70. This one I'll not even ask for second party. This one, 0 or 70?
Same 70.
Same
Zero.
70. Oh, 0. We are third party.
I'll choose 0.
Yes? Okay, that's another 0. Okay.
70.
All right, 70.
70.
Okay. This one,
Empty string, I guess. I mean, wait,
empty string.
It's empty string. Man.
Wait.
Empty
That's
string.
and 0.
This one is 0. Yeah, and.
Nothing. Will I say false? I don't think anything will get
False.
false
What's
again.
False.
False
again.
again. False again.
False.
This is
again.
This is no. That is actually. I'm going with. I'm going for true. 38.
38 is true. Nobody else wants to say anything.
Wait, so 0 is a variable.
No, 0 is false. If I remember
It's a
correctly.
value now. It's not about being a variable. It's a value. So you can.
No, this
compare.
AND operator and work to that is true and true. Like null is false and 70 is true. So if null and if both of them is not true, then it's false. So as far as one is wrong, then they're both false. I think.
Oh, yeah, last one, 39. What are we getting? 0 or
True.
70?
This one is true.
Okay, this one is true. Okay.
What makes 0 and 70 false?
So what do you want it to be? What do you think it should be?
No, the person that give the answer, what is the
No,
idea
like
behind
0. I think 0, like the number 0, should be false. I don't know.
I
I don't
think
know.
0 is
Yeah.
false of what to do.
Yeah, 0 is a false value. I think somebody said
Yeah,
that
false.
before.
0 and 17. Then 7. False. Yeah.
Okay. So now we've gotten all of this. Now I will remind you guys. You guys are in intermediate class, so you are not beginners. So this, well, let's look at this course and see. Yeah, so Kuka is starting up. We should get the results very soon. Oh, right. Storage. Okay, first one, 70. That was correct. 0 as well. How about this one? I clearly explained. If the left side is null or undefined, it will return the right side. But you left what I said. I want to go and pick undefined. This one, wow. See, even though empty string is a falsy value, it didn't care. As all it's looking for is null or undefined. If it doesn't see that, it will return this one, the left one. So again here, this was neither null nor undefined, so it returned it. So now in our OR operator, yes, the OR operator works this way. The OR operator is looking for the first truthy value. Okay, just remember that the OR operator is always looking for the first truthy value. So if it checks the first value and it is truthy, it will return that first value, because OR just wants to know that there is good in this world. As long as there is good in this world, OR is satisfied to return that good and forget about the rest. But if that value is a falsy value, it will skip it and continue on its goodness search. And so we get 70. Here again, this is a falsy value, so it will skip it and look for the first truthy value it finds. By the way, if it doesn't see any truthy value at all, it will return that last falsy value. Okay, so if you say 0 or null, you will get null because null is at the end. So that's how it all works. Undefined and 70, same case. Falsy, truthy, you get the truthy one. This one was falsy, so it will return the truthy one. But over here, this is a truthy value. No need to look for more goodness. There's this one right here. And then there's the AND operator. The AND operator looks for evil in the world. It looks for evil in the world. It's looking for just one reason to say, yes, people are not good, and that's it. So it's looking for the first falsy value it meets. Once it meets a falsy value, it assumes that's it. So it returns that falsy value. Okay. The AND operator believes that everything should be on the same wavelength. So if it sees something that is true, it will continue moving on, looking for something that is false. If it doesn't eventually see something that is false, then it will return the last truthy value it meets. But if anyway at any point it meets a falsy value, that's it. It's returning that falsy value. So it's the opposite of the OR operator, as you can see. So null and 70, null is falsy, it returns null. 0 and 70, 0 is falsy, it returns 0. Undefined and 70 is going to return undefined. So let me turn this off, and you are going to correct yourselves for the remaining two. So for these two, what are we going to see?
Empty string.
The first one is empty string.
Yeah.
They left you to be talking again. People are leaving him to be talking again. It's okay.
Does this also work on the last two?
He said Anne is looking for any false value.
There's no false value in call. There's no false value. Only pick from the end of the right.
That's your problem. I've explained it. So make your choice.
Oh, he said all operator will pick from the last if they are both correct. So let's go with that again. So to be 70.
This is Anne.
So do we
Yeah,
all
those,
agree with 70?
Can you hear me now?
No,
Yeah, Josephine,
Somebody is trying to
amplify.
say something.
Okay.
no,
Okay, thank you.
no.
So 70 or 0? Pick one, pick one.
0.
0. Who is saying 0? Let me know your face. Let me know the person that is correct now. Let me raise your hand. Say it with your full chest.
Me.
It's you that said 0,
Wait,
Abi.
the first now. This is Ando, it's not all.
Okay, you say it will be false, Abi.
Mm.
That's okay. I will forgive you because you were out for a bit. So none of these things actually return true or false. These operators are just, well, eventually they're going to pick one of the values and return them. So it's all a matter of, is it looking for evil or is it looking for goodness? Yes, we get 70 because this is a truthy value and this is a truthy value. So and is going to return the last truthy value. Anyway, that's enough of that. So back to our local storage. We've done get item and set item. And we've looked at a nice way to immediately access a value of something in local storage, even if you're not sure if that property yet exists. So, but you see now, the way this works, you would need to know what this is supposed to be. Like maybe you're expecting it to be an array, then obviously you'd make this an array and say do, I don't know, square bracket 0 or something like that. You get that kind of thing now. And well, okay, those things. So yeah, the other thing to do, the next thing to do is clear. Oh no, remove item. So what item do we remove? I don't want to remove any of these ones we have. So let's add a new one. Let me comment these out. No need for this. Local storage dot set item. Let's call this tests, and we'll give it the value random entry. Okay. So if we come over here, we will see tests and random entry. Then if I feel like removing that random entry, it's just a matter of so local storage dot remove item. Okay, actually before we remove this item, I would like to see, because there's this thing I'm seeing, it wasn't written in Asabene. Local storage dot length. Aren't you curious to know what is returned?
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So I'm expecting to see 3. Yeah, it returns a number. I'm expecting to see 3 because there are 3 properties there right now. Okay, it did return 3. So that makes sense. So I guess we've seen dot length in action. So let's go clear, remove item. So remove item takes a key and removes the key value pair. So we are going to remove tests.
Sorry. Why 3?
Why 3? There were 3 items now. There was data, there was user, and there was test. Yeah. Yeah, no.
Thinking for user.
Oh, okay. Anyway, you saw that test is no more because the other one has removed it. Came to the wrong place. So that was remove item. So let's try before we do clear, let's do key, because clear is going to remove everything. So let's do key before that. Local storage dot key. So this takes an index, returns the name of the nth key, or null if n is greater than or equal to the number of key value pairs. So in a way, it feels like this local storage, it behaves kind of like an array, while at the same time looking like an object. You guys also get that feeling? Right, because you see here we're talking of index, and a few moments ago we're talking of length. It's usually arrays that do that keep track of indexes and length of number of items contained. Yet we can do something like get item. It's feeling like map. Do you remember map when we did sets and maps around the end of beginner class? The local storage object is looking like a map, because maps also keep track of size. Although I don't see them doing index, but all the same. So key, you are expected to pass in a number. See, index number. So if we pass in 2, we should see the second item. Oh, sorry. Sorry, let me remove all these things. They're causing confusion. So remember, see what they said. It returns the name of the nth key, or it returns null if n is greater than or equal to the number of key value pairs. And currently there are 2 key value pairs. That's why we are saying null in the console. You can see null. Sorry, but if we made this 1, I think we should see user. So just to confirm something, I'm going to write test again. I'm going to set this test once more. And let's see if we're going to see user or test. We're seeing test. So it's clear. It arranges its items alphabetically. You can see that it arranges its keys alphabetically and not by time of being added. So if we added a key that starts with A, that key will become the first one. And the second one will be data and the test and user. Is that aspect clear? Hello, is that clear? Is that clear? Silence.
We.
Okay, no need for console log. So we're just going to clear. Local storage dot, the last method is clear that we've not used. So clear doesn't take anything, doesn't return anything. It just removes all key value pairs if there are any. Yes, Bashir?
Sorry, what does key do? Yeah.
What does key do? Key returns the name of the nth key, or returns null if you put in a greater value than is expected. So the first key, to get the name of the first key, you put 0, then 1, then 2, like that. So if you put a number that is exactly equal to the number of keys in the local storage, you get null, because you know now the last index in an array is n minus 1. The length minus the Number of items in it, -1. So anything greater than what it can give you to return null. All right, so let's look at clear and see what happens. And this is what happens. You get empty, everything goes away. It's similar to clicking this button, clear all. So that's that really for local storage, or rather web storages. And we can, all of these things can be done on session storage as well. So are there any questions? Yes, attendance. You guys didn't remind me again.
I have a question. I think I was lost that time that I was having issues. That place, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
That place, go back to the one that you were using to show us. That's day 17.
Yeah, just hang on a moment. Let me go find that.
Okay.
That form for attendance. I don't know. Is it possible to create an extension that will just be looking at meets and get a record of people that the names that is saying in the attendance list, in the, I don't know, participants list? Does that sound like something possible?
Write a program for it.
I'm asking if it's possible. We have to know if it's possible first before writing. You cannot just stay and be writing program. You need to know if something is possible.
Ourselves.
Because this form thing is very annoying. All right, so it should be showing up in the chat right about now. So let's just take 2 minutes, fill it, and come back.
Alpha, since we're talking about possibilities, is it possible like to have a name on one group and a different name from your normal monitor, like on WhatsApp, like the way they do it in Discord?
As far as I know, that can't happen. So, are we done filling? Hello, are we done filling?
So while you're filling, please, I think my network took me out of the class when we were doing that knowledge stuff. Can I see the outcome?
The entire time?
Yes. Like after I said that first one, no. 70. My network just got off.
That network really planned you well.
Like it was pretty
Network really planned you well.
Apparently, it's still planning you because.
Sorry, the class is recorded, so you won't miss anything. So even if it's recorded, you just watch and watch and watch.
So anyway, where's Josephine?
I'm here.
Yeah, you had a question.
Where I got lost was, please move upward. This place that you said that local storage set item takes in key and value in the as parameters. Abi?
Yeah, like here, Abi.
Yes. Then you now say that the key is user, the value is user. I don't get that point.
That time there was no JSON or stringify, Abi.
No, there was no join. No, there was nothing. I think that was where I started having issues.
I don't. This was all we had then, like this.
Yes.
Okay, maybe you are just.
My question is, if this user that you put in a string and you are saying it that is the key, I don't get that part.
Okay, what if I did this? What if I did this? Does this line 5 confuse you?
User objects.
Line 5. Just, you know that user objects is an object.
Yes.
So looking at line 5, does it confuse you?
It's supposed to first name is first name. I don't understand what you did there. That thing is normally if the name was goodness before and it has changed to first name, it doesn't change anything now. It's just that it's no longer goodness, it's now first name.
Exactly. So this is a key and this is a value. This is a key, this is a value. This one is a string. This one was a variable, a value, something like that. So it shouldn't confuse you if I'm writing user here.
No, you don't get what I'm saying. When you say key,
would you rather use property? Does property make more sense to you?
But okay, if you check this object, what the key is first name and the value is first name. The second key is last name and the value is Uche, right?
Yes.
So what I want to ask is it? I'm trying to get. Is it because maybe like this user can be any name, right?
Yeah. Okay, if it's this one can be anything. We could say, I don't know, random.
And it must be in a string.
Yeah, it has to be a string. We're setting a key and value pair. Keys are always strings. Values are also always strings. So if you put anything here that is not a string, you're lucky it's not TypeScript, for they shout at you. This one will be nice and will force this 7 to become a string. And if you put something here that is not a string, again, it will force it to become a string. So let's go take a look. Right now, these two are not strings, right? 7 is not a string. 7 is a number. This one is an object.
Okay.
So we see key 7. I know you can't see the quotes, but you know that everything that is a key here is a string. The object has transformed into its string value.
Okay.
Yeah. So does that clear your question?
Okay.
User object, so it's not bad. So any more questions? That's a no. So we're done for today then. So see you all another time. Not tomorrow. Next Saturday should be, what beautiful thing do we have? I think it's promises.
Have you done closure?
Have I done what? Closures. No, closures is the day
Closure,
after
closure.
promises. Closures is the day after promises.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Koji.
Yeah, you're welcome. See you all another time.